Now we've talked about lots of other aspects of the menopause, I thought we perhaps should talk about sex. This is something that concerns a lot of women and their partners, particularly at midlife. This is a time when hormones are changing, and we've talked about that. But it's also a time when other factors will impact upon how you feel about yourself sexually. Your appearance might have changed. You might have gained some weight and perhaps feel as though you're less attractive to your partner. You might have noticed that you're a little bit stressed about other aspects of life. This could be personal stress, financial stress, worry about your kids. You might actually find that it's very difficult to find some private time with your partner. Things might be interfering in the home. For example, if you've got teenage kids that are up late at night, you might feel less comfortable going to bed with your partner and being sexually active. You might be worried about intrusion into that time. You also might have a partner who's having sexual difficulties. So although hormones are clearly important at this time, you need to consider the big picture in terms of your sexual well-being. A commonly used medication that might adversely affect your sexual function would be an antidepressant. So if you're taking an antidepressant and you've noticed changes in your sexual function, it's really important that you talk to your doctor about this. Equally so, your partner might be on medication affecting their sexual function. So this is something you should be discussing with your partner. There are some medical factors that could be impacting on your sexual function. If you've had gynecological surgery in the past, this could perhaps affect your ability to become aroused, or you might find that you're experiencing some discomfort vaginally with sexual interactions. If that's the case, again, talk to your doctor about this. The fall in estrogen at menopause in most women will eventually cause some vaginal dryness. This can result in discomfort and even pain with sexual activity. This can be managed quite easily, either by the use of vaginal estrogen therapy or a vaginal moisturiser if you're unable to use estrogen. And of course, you should consider using a lubricant to make sexual activity more comfortable. You've probably heard about women using testosterone therapy for sexual function. And you might wonder, why would a woman take testosterone? Isn't that abnormal? Well, testosterone is a really important hormone for women. Did you know that at all times during your life, your blood level of testosterone is higher than your blood level of estrogen? In fact, women make estrogen from testosterone. So testosterone is an important hormone not only for sexual function, but also the production of estrogen. It's important for bone strength, it's important for muscle strength, and it does have a myriad of other actions throughout your body. Testosterone levels do not change at menopause, unless you have gone through, say, a surgical menopause and had your ovaries removed, or menopause as a result of chemotherapy where your ovaries have basically stopped functioning. The change a woman experiences in testosterone occurs before the menopause. By the time you're in your 40s, your testosterone level is about half of that it was in your 20s. The fall in testosterone that occurs before menopause doesn't affect every woman, but it does affect some women, particularly in terms of a change in sexual interest and sexual arousal. There have been many studies done looking at giving women testosterone therapy if they're experiencing low arousal and low libido. These studies show that most, but not all women will benefit. This is probably because the women not benefiting are not having a problem with sexual function because of testosterone, but for other reasons, like a relationship problem or health reasons that haven't been identified. If you are considering taking testosterone therapy, you must discuss this carefully with your doctor. A critical issue is that you should not use a testosterone formulation that has been developed for men. Women have about 1/10 of the level of testosterone as that of men. If you take a testosterone formulation that's been developed for men, you'll be effectively overdosing with testosterone, and that can have nasty consequences. If you are treated with a testosterone formulation that's been developed for a woman, and your blood levels are kept within a female range, you are very unlikely to experience any side effects. So you probably at this point have an image of a woman using testosterone, getting hairy, growing a beard, having acne and a deep voice. That does not occur if you use an appropriate dose of testosterone. Of course, testosterone is not the answer for improving every woman's sexual well-being. And even when it is used, it may only be part of the answer. It's essential you look at all the dimensions of your sexual health and well-being. Having talked about testosterone, we should probably touch on a couple of other hormones. You've heard a lot in this series of discussions about estrogen. Well, estrogen can alter testosterone in your blood. Now, this is quite a complex story, but trying to break it down, estrogen and testosterone circulate in our bloodstreams bound by a protein. The more bound up our hormones are, the less likely they are to be active in our cells. If you are taking estrogen as a tablet, it can increase the level of this protein. This will cause more of your testosterone to be bound up in your blood and less of it available to be active in your cells. So sometimes what we do is we switch a woman from an estrogen tablet to an estrogen patch or gel to get around this effect of estrogen tablets increasing this protein. And sometimes this makes a woman's testosterone more available, and this can be a simple answer to changing testosterone dynamics in a woman's blood and improving sexual function. The last hormone I want to talk to you about with respect to sexual function is a hormone called DHEA. Now, you may have heard of this too. DHEA is a hormone mainly produced by your adrenal glands. The levels of production of this hormone do decline with age. That's a natural phenomenon. DHEA doesn't actually have its own action in the body, but it is converted throughout our bodies to testosterone and to estrogen. It has been suggested that if a woman has low sexual function, that DHEA might improve her sexual function. This has not been borne out in any studies. So, multiple studies have not shown that DHEA is effective for the treatment of low libido, low arousal, or inability to have an orgasm. DHEA is also not effective for the treatment of menopausal symptoms. It is available in the US over the counter, and it is used widely with the belief that it might be almost an anti-aging hormone. But again, there is no evidence to support this. So I cannot recommend the use of DHEA therapy for the management of menopause or for the treatment of sexual dysfunction in men or in women. So to wrap up, humans are sexual beings from birth to the grave. All people have a right to good sexual health. And the way we express our sexuality is very different between individuals. If you're having issues with your sexual well-being and your sexual function, you should talk to someone about this. This might be a counsellor, it might be your doctor. Sometimes the menopause adversely affects sexual function, but sometimes it doesn't. If your sexual function and sexual well-being has been good before the menopause, it is most likely to continue being good after the menopause. Hormones may be important, but hormone therapy is not going to answer or address every issue that you might encounter in your sexual well-being. It's important you work with your partner on issues. It's important you consider your health, your partner's health, and your partner's sexual function. Also think about stresses outside your relationship that could be adversely impacting on your sexual health, and see what you can do to modify those. But ultimately, try and enjoy your sexual relationship with your partner, seek out advice, and if necessary, seek out medical care.